Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Above the Rim Rundown, where we run down all things NBA. We are back. I've got Hoops right beside me. It's been a while. It's been a while since we recorded an episode. I am happy that we are back to this once again. A new setup, as you guys may be seeing right now. It's not our typical Discord looking setup. I made it a little more professional since the break. But yeah, Hoops, how you been? It's been a few weeks. We haven't been talking too much as of late as well, so I would love to catch up with you. But yeah, how have you been and what have you been doing as of late?
Yeah, honestly, for the most part, everything's still been going good. Just getting through in life with the work life, gym, and trying to get myself right. And honestly, it's been a little bit crazy in the sense like busy, not just like work, but like also like within like family shenanigans and all that stuff. So um yeah, that was part of the reason we had a little bit of a break. Like both sides had like stuff going on. So that led to a little bit of break we had, but overall doing good. Just trying to get through life the best way possible. Um how you been?
I've been good. I've been very busy as well. We originally took a break because I went on a family vacation to Mexico, so that was like the original reason why we took a break. And then from there on, when I came back, I actually was sick when I came back. That wasn't that wasn't fun. I was like sleeping throughout the entire day because I felt nauseous and stuff. But yeah, once I felt better, I basically locked in because I am starting my master's program this Monday. So very nervous about that, but I'm also very excited. I had orientation last Wednesday. And it was actually really cool. I got to meet people. You know how I am. I'm very shy. I don't talk to people, but there was just a lot of people that like had the same goals like me. So just being able to talk with them and meet them and uh, find commonalities, right? Things that we have in similarities was pretty cool. So I got to meet new people and I thought that was fun. I'm excited for the program. I'm nervous as well, like money wise, just trying to pay for all of that, my car, stuff like that. So yeah, that has me stressed. The workload has me stressed. I'm gonna be working less technically, even though I've been back to work lately. I've been doing that lately, but um, yeah, all that is a little stressful, but it is what it is. I'll just get through it. That's kind of like what we do here. We just go through it day by day. But yeah, I am happy to finally be back with you and recording this very interesting video for today. So, this is your idea. I really like this idea. We are going to be ranking the last 10 NBA finals basically. What was your uh mindset on this? Like, what did you keep in mind while ranking these last 10 teams from 2016 to 2025?
So I think that there were definitely a handful of factors that I considered. One of them is the team's success throughout the year, like regular season record, playoff record, playoff opponents, strengths of difficulty, and how hard did it they have to grind to win it, or how easy was it for them to have no sweat? Those were factors I considered. And then another thing is for sure comparing when comparing these teams to one another, I think like maybe every now and then thinking like would if this team hypothetically played against that team, who might have a better chance at winning could also factor in a little bit on like why maybe I rank this team higher or this team lower. So definitely several different factors indicated for this for sure. And I think a lot of it had to do with um, not just the playoffs run, also the regular season success, and so forth.
Okay, very interesting. I had like a slightly different mentality. I mostly focused on the finals and how entertaining or competitive it was. So you're gonna see a common theme like right out of the gate, um, on how I feel about certain finals based off of how many games was like needed in order for a team to win it. And I'm not gonna lie, I had some bias as well. Like there's some uh, teams that I ranked lower because I was a fan of the matchup or the winner. There's teams that I ranked higher because I liked who won the finals, and I ended up enjoying it because a team I preferred ended up winning. So there's that. Um, should we reveal our number 10 placements right now?
I think we can go ahead and do that, honestly.
All right, let's do that. Uh, I hope we have the same one, but it'll be interesting if we do not. So, oh,
Yeah.
I'm dumb. I did not put the years, which would have helped a lot.
Uh,
Okay.
years would be a good idea. I did put the years by who I put, but
Okay.
like obviously I'm not gonna write down all of the teams at once. So
Yeah, so I'm gonna put down my answer and then I'll look up really quickly which team it is. But let's reveal our answers together.
mhm. Okay.
Now I forgot which year this was, but it's easy to figure it out. We'll figure out that real
Okay.
soon.
So oh, okay. I'm just barely seeing how you decided to paste at the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't know how we were gonna pace it. I saw so many boxes I didn't know.
Okay.
Okay, okay. You know what? The hater in me loves your answer. I love your answer. So, you want to reveal your answer while I look up mine?
Yeah. So my answer, so for number 10, I put down 2023-2024 Boston Celtics.
And
I already
for
know the
you know the year
oh
for
go
mine?
ahead. Yeah, it's 2018
Uh,
Warriors.
okay, yeah, 2018 Warriors where they swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, I guess I'll have you go first and explain
Yeah.
why the Celtics are at the bottom for you, even though I feel like there's an easy explanation for that. But yeah, you
Yeah.
can go ahead and share why the Celtics is your least favorite champions from the
So
last 10 years.
I think that the philosophy, straight out the gate, I can tell that the philosophy that the two of us went into this list is quite different. Because I see that you ranked it based on entertainment, because obviously a sweep is not entertaining. So, in that sense, I would understand why you put this one at the bottom. But let me explain why I put the Celtics at the bottom. And it's simply due to the fact that they had such an easy run to the championship that year. Now, that team in itself was, yes, a really good team. I mean, they finished 64-18, really good record, and were really tough to beat that year. But their the playoffs, the teams that they were playing against, if you look at it from up to down, first round against the Heat, Jimmy Butler was out. Second round against the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell played the first two games, then he got hurt. And then in the conference finals against the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton gets hurt and they go for another easy series. Finally, they play a healthy team in the finals in the Dallas Mavericks, and that team had a pretty good run. But at the end of the day, they were a fifth seed. So the main reason why I put the Celtics at the bottom of this list was because their run was just like no sweat at all. And sure, it makes me sound like a biased hater, which obviously I am because fuck the Celtics. But I feel like a lot of the points I mentioned are also quite valid because like three out of the four opponents you play have all-star caliber players that missed a good amount of the games, it just diminishes the competition immensely. Now, would the Celtics have won those series had those all those players been healthy throughout? Good chance, yes, but guarantee you, some of those series would have definitely been more competitive. Like for example, the Pacers series, it could have easily been like 2-2 after game four. Because I remember Pacers should have won game two in Boston, but they choked really badly, and that was frustrating to watch. And then they could have easily won one of the games in Indiana. Had Tyrese not been injured, looking at a 2-2 tie, you just never know. Probably Boston still wins, but never say never. That Pacers team was quite gritty. Like, even though this year's Pacers team was really the team that was the team of upsets, the 2023-2024 Pacers team was also no slouch. So that being said, main reason why I put the Celtics at the bottom was due to the lack of sweat of opponents getting their way to the championship.
And I feel like that's very valid. You know, we this is the first NBA Finals we covered on the channel, and we went over this countless of times how they had a Mickey Mouse run to the finals. Granted, they were the best team in the NBA that year. That was like regular season wise. That is a fact, but uh, you never know like what would happen if like Tyrese Halliburton was not injured, or you mentioned Donovan Mitchell, right? Donovan Mitchell missed time with the Cavs. Jimmy Butler, kind of known as the Celtics like stopper, was out that series, if I'm correct. So, uh, yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, right? Um, and the fact that they faced the Mavericks, right? A team that was filled with surprises, but didn't really. We never really thought they would have made it in that situation to begin with. Um, I don't have the Celtics at the bottom, but they're close to the bottom for a reason for me. So I feel like all the things you said is for sure valid. I did put the 2018 Golden State Warriors as my bottom spot, because like I remember this era like it was yesterday. Because man, I hated watching basketball these like 2 years where you knew it was just gonna be Golden State Warriors versus the Cavs once again. You knew that the Golden State Warriors were gonna win the finals once again because they built a super team by adding Kevin Durant on a 73 plus or 73 win team, right? So from like before the season even begun, you knew what the script was. You knew that the Warriors were gonna win the finals, and not only did they win it this year in 2018, they swept the Cavs. It wasn't a competition. I believe on the Cavs side there were injuries, right? Um, Correct me if I'm
There
wrong.
were
Was it this year that Kevin Love was gone due to like a shoulder injury?
2018, I don't think that was the Kevin Love injury
No.
year.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure Kevin Love injury year was the first finals they met, 2015. Though, did he get injured again? Is my question.
I believe there was injuries because I remember like there was promo where like the second best player besides LeBron was Timofey Moskov or whatever.
Oh,
Like there was.
Tim- Timofey Mozgov was not on the Cavs anymore in
Oh
2018. Though.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My memory is
I
shot
think
then.
yeah, I'm pretty sure Kevin Love got injured because I know for a fact he was out in the 2015 finals. I mean, that was a year when that was the first time they met. Um,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. Either way, LeBron getting swept in embarrassing fashion here. Not only like hurts his go case in my opinion, but like made it for like horrible basketball to watch. Like this was not a great finals to watch. You could let me know, but is this the year where J.R. Smith made that one mistake that became a huge meme?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Is the
That
year.
was game one where LeBron like actually did go off, right? He had like a monster game one performance, and then J.R. Smith had that blunder to basically cost them the win. Uh, yeah, this was not fun whatsoever. This era of basketball was very boring. I hated it so much. I'm glad it's over. Um,
Me too.
I'm your Celtics pick is valid, but I feel like it can't get worse than watching the same team play again and it being a sweep. So that's why the 2018 Warriors is my bottom, my number 10 spot. Should we reveal the number 9? Or did you want
Yeah.
to
Let's go.
mention anything else?
Okay, I think I'll go ahead and say, I think that a lot of points you said were definitely very valid. If you're talking about which was the most boring finals in the last 10 years, this is definitely up there because like a sweep is never really a good sign. Um, yeah, ultimately, I guess if we're talking about like comparing the teams that won talent wise, I would say that the 2018 Warriors were a better team than the 2024 Celtics, probably due to like the star power. Um, but as far as like the run to the I guess if you're talking about like, the finals itself solely, then you can make a huge case that the 2018 one was the most boring snooze fest due to a sweep. So I can understand why you put the Warriors at the bottom.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Let's reveal number 9. Let's do that right now. I looked up all the years, so uh, I won't be confused anymore. So we'll do that. Very interesting answer from you. So we both got the Warriors. We both got the Warriors, just different years. So you want to
Hmm.
reveal yours?
Yeah. So for number 9, I put the 2021-2022 Warriors.
And I put the 2016-2017 Warriors. So who's why did you choose the 21-22 Warriors?
Okay. So I think safe to say, once again, just a friendly reminder to the audience, completely different philosophies we came when making this list. Um so I'll start by saying why I put the 2021-22 Warriors, and then afterwards I guess I'll mention like why I wouldn't put the 2017 one this low, but maybe I'll do that after you mention why you did. So I'll mention why I put 22 first. So the reason why I put this team this low, okay, to start, I think that the 2021-2022 Warriors team is clearly the worst Warriors championship team that Steph was able to win with. Um Even worse than the first team that won back in 2015 because this team, Steph was like hard carrying them, honestly. Like the Warriors clearly were a very talented team. I didn't think they were the same team as the Dynasty Warriors, though star power wise. And yet they proved us all wrong. I mean, previous year they didn't even make the playoffs. This year, they somehow went on to win it all. So that was pretty impressive. Um, I think that one of the things about this season, I remember the Warriors were really good, they didn't finish the regular season that strong. Like I remember in the last 28 games, they only finished 12-16. And they're I heard that of the last 10 finals champions, um the Warriors offensive rating was 17th, and its regular season net rating was the lowest of all of the teams on this list, the last 10. However, they peaked at the right place at the right time in the playoffs. They played practically flawless basketball, and they were able to win pretty much every series convincingly. So, yes, this team was still really good. At the end of the day, it was still the Golden State Warriors. Great head coach, great superstar leading the way. However, I do think that this is the weakest Warriors team that won the championship during Steph's run. And so that's why I put them at number 9.
Okay. What's funny is that like a lot of the reasons why you put them at 9 is the reasons why I put them higher. The fact that like you didn't expect this team to win the finals, yet they surpass expectations in order to do that. I'll go over more of my thoughts on the 22 Warriors when like I get there. But like this is a good example of like our two different philosophies uh going into this, as you mentioned. Um so like I think, yeah, the 2022 Warriors should be higher. Would you say the 2017 Warriors should be higher?
Um, Talent wise, for sure, because like that team was really damn good.
Yeah,
Um,
too
so yeah, I
good.
would say yes.
I'd say too good. I'd say they
Way too good.
ruined basketball for
They
a
did.
couple of years. That's why I have them this low. This is the first championship with Kevin Durant on the team, the third meeting between the same teams that we've seen over and over again, Golden State Warriors versus Cavs. It got boring. I hated seeing LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph in the finals once again. It got annoying. That's why I have it this low, right? But the reason why it's not last is because at least the Cavs won a game. They won a single game. So yeah, you can tell that from my like perspective. I'm thinking more of entertainment wise. I'm thinking about like the memories I had during this time, and I remember just being miserable. Like I hated this. Like I hated this era of basketball a lot. Um, I like basketball now a lot more. Seeing like a new team win every year, it makes things exciting. It makes things unpredictable. This was boring. This was boring basketball. It was boring for 4 years in a row, basically. Um, and yeah, the fact that Kevin Durant joined the 73 win Warriors after losing a 3-1 series against the Warriors is embarrassing. So the fact that he decided to just ruin basketball and uh, kind of ruin his legacy, I believe. Like, I feel like he could have, if he won a chip with OKC and just stuck it stuck with them, I think a lot of people would have regarded him as a all-time great. And he's still technically an all-time great, but like not top 10 level, I feel like, even though he has the talents to be top 10 all time. But yeah, I'm rambling at this point. I hated this era of NBA basketball, so that's why I have the 2017 Warriors this low. Any thoughts on that?
Um, I mean, since we mentioned that our approach to this video was completely different, then kind of hard for me to really counter because look, if you're talking about entertainment wise, I agree 1000% that this was one of the more boring times for sure. I mean, like, I'm gonna say this. If we would have said that the video was rank the last 10 finals based on excitement, I feel like my list would be a lot closer to yours. Um, to be fair, we kind of um, I guess we didn't necessarily specify specifically
Yeah.
what the criteria was. That's why our answers are so different. So maybe we should have communicated a little bit better there, but it's all good. We made our list the way we did. So so I would say based on how you judged and explained, I agree with you. If it was going off my criteria, then I would be different. So overall, I would say, based on your criteria, it's all fair points.
Okay, cool. I think having having these like different philosophies makes things interesting, right? We're not gonna have the
Yeah,
same answers.
it
We don't know what's
it
gonna come
makes
up.
things it makes things interesting, but it also makes the chances of us having the same place like seems so big of a long shot, low key.
Well, we'll see. I for sure know we're not gonna have the same answer for the next one, but we could
Yeah.
reveal our number eights right now to each other. Um, we'll do that right now. I'm pasting into the doc. Okay, interesting. Um, so which team do you have?
Yeah, so for number 8, I got the 2022-2023 Denver Nuggets.
And then I got your number 10 placement, the 2023-2024 Boston Celtics. I'm very curious on why you have the Nuggets this low. Um, you could explain if you'd like.
Yeah. So this team was obviously a really good team, but not sure if you remember their regular season record wasn't really that impressive to say the least. I mean, 53 and 29. It's a good record, but for an NBA champion, a lot of times they tend to have a better record than that. However, during the playoffs, they dominated pretty good. 16 and 4 record in the playoffs. Um, they only needed 6 games max in any series. Um, the rest of them, and that was against the Suns in the semifinals. The rest of them, first round against Timberwolves, 5 games over. Conference finals against the Lakers, which we try to forget about. It ended up being a sweep. And then the finals against the Heat, another 5 game series. So Nuggets just peaked and went off at the perfect time. However, I do take into account that 53 and 29 is not like a crazy record for an NBA champion. Um, and I just feel like some of these other teams on the list just were like more dominant and had more impressive overall either run or like star power. So this is why I placed the Nuggets at where I placed them.
All right. Okay. I'm just gonna jump into my explanation on the Celtics versus Mavs because I don't entirely know how to feel about the Nuggets placements. It's the Nuggets at this placement for you, like because of the lack of star power at the end of the day? Like, is that the thing?
I mean, maybe a little bit, but also due to the fact that I feel like some of these other teams like had either a better overall season or like a better peak in in the playoffs, I guess. So kind of hard for me to really explain, but I guess
Okay.
star power could be one of the factors.
Okay. They probably out of the three teams you have so far, they probably have the best player. Like,
Yeah.
would you think 2022 Warriors or 2022 Steph is better than 23 Jokic? Probably not.
Um
No,
it's
no, I don't think so.
probably not.
So Nuggets for sure have the best player, but the surrounding cast is not as
Yeah.
impressive, I guess. Um, but okay, let
Yeah,
me
probably.
go over my placement. So the Boston Celtics being the Mavs. I mean, you went over this pretty well, talking about their Mickey Mouse run, not only throughout like the Eastern Conference, but the finals as well. Like, it's easy to forget that Luka Doncic was injured during that finals. He had like a leg injury and was playing through it, I believe, throughout the conference finals against the Timberwolves, even though he was great, right? He even hit like a game winner. But yeah, that definitely affected his play in the finals, where he did good, he did all right, but the personnel around him wasn't to his level, obviously. So the Celtics ended up winning that one in very boring fashion, of 4-1. A lot of blowouts, I believe. Um, Not a lot of notable moments. Like, it was such a like bad finals that like nobody cared after like 2 days. Like, nobody like acknowledged that the Celtics won another championship, because like, who cares? Like, it was such a boring NBA finals that nobody took them seriously. Nobody takes like Jason Tatum seriously. A lot of people like disliked him even more as a player after the finals. Like, how does that even happen? That where you like your aura goes down after you win the NBA finals. That's actually insane. So,
Yeah.
yeah, for me, Celtics do belong towards the bottom. You have them at the very bottom. I have them pretty close. So, um, we're like around the same range there. Anything you want to say before we move on to the next one?
Um, nah, not too much. I would say that I this would be one of the I feel like for your list so far, if we're talking based on my criteria, this would be the most fitting place. Um, if anything, the only thing I would say is they should be lower. But aside from that, um, I think that it's pretty good placement.
All right, sounds good. Let's move on to number 7. Oh, okay. Now looking at my number 7 placement, I guess I should have judged you too hard with your number 8 placement, even though I felt like I wasn't too judgmental. But
Hmm.
yeah, okay. So, who's your number 7?
Okay, so for number 7, I got the 2020-2021 Milwaukee Bucks.
And then I got the Denver Nuggets, which is the team you just mentioned. Um, so for me, I sorry to like jump the gun here, but I had the Nuggets this low, mostly due to the competition. Right, the Miami Heat that year, weren't they the eighth seed? Didn't they go
They
through like
were,
a crazy
yeah,
run? Didn't they come from the
the
play-in
play-in.
tournament, which
Yeah, they did.
very impressive stuff from the Heat, but clearly like they did not belong in the NBA Finals that year. You could tell by like how short the amount of games was. It was 4-1. There was nobody on the Heat that could slow down Jokic. Even though they had Bam on the team, and he is one of the greatest defenders in the league right now, or especially in 2023. Maybe not now, but in 2023, he was amazing defensively. But there was nothing that anybody could do to stop the horse loving Serbian over there in Denver. Um, so because of that, I rate them pretty low. Even though I did like this championship for the most part, like I was happy to see Jokic win this uh,
Me too.
championship a lot. Not so happy that Mike Malone ended up getting a ring, uh, and not so happy they swept the Lakers in the process. But um, yeah, although I like the team, I like Jokic winning. I thought that was cool. Uh, they do belong in like the lower tiers. Your Bucks pick has me flabbergasted. Um, I feel like I could see like understand some reasons, like maybe during the run, how they didn't have to. Who was it? I'll have you explain it. You could go ahead and explain why you have the Bucks this low.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start by saying if we were talking based on how we like the champions, the Bucks would easily be a lot higher on this list. But one of the reasons why I ranked them where I did, part of it definitely was due to the fact that it did happen to be in the shortened season, which was very injury plagued. Now, let me make things clear. When people try to say that this championship or the Lakers championship was asterisk, I think that that is complete BS because clearly these were tough grindouts. However, I do think you also got to consider a little bit the fact that obviously I think what you were about to say is pretty much what I was going to mention now. The semifinals against the Nets when first Kyrie went down and then Harden went down. So a little bit of mis I guess a little bit of factors there that maybe could have been things have been a little bit different. I mean, I'm not complaining. I didn't like that Nets team. I didn't want them to win. I'm glad the Bucks beat them. However, definitely factoring in a little bit there.
Don't forget the
So
size of KD's shoe.
yeah, that too. And look, I'm happy Milwaukee won that year. I was really happy the Bucks won. I was really happy Giannis won his ring. However, I do think you got to factor in some stuff as well, and that's why I put the Bucks where I did. I would have loved to have put them higher, but I just thought some of these other teams were a little bit more worthy.
Okay, yeah, that part makes sense. I did put them higher, mostly because of like how the finals turned out, how they were down 0-2, and then were able to come back from that. And I could go over that more once I talk about the Bucks. But you do make a good point about like the Nets series is where it weighs it down a bit. There is a you know there could have been a huge chance that the Nets would have won that NBA Finals if KD's foot was a little smaller. So, things could have happened where Giannis never won that ring for sure. But once he got to the finals, like it was well deserved for sure. Um, but okay, anything else, or should we jump to the next one?
Um, I think we can jump to the next one, honestly.
Okay, so let's do that. This is our sixth placement. I have a feeling this is going to be different. Okay. Okay. So, who do you have?
Yeah. So for number six, I put down the 2019-2020 Lakers.
And I put the 2021-2022 Golden State Warriors. And I will say, I have the Lakers nearby. So, we have them in a close range. But would you like to explain why you have them at number 6?
Yeah. So obviously, as a Lakers fan, my heart wants to put them higher. However, I think that this would be a fair range to put them, and it is not because of COVID. It's because more so probably due to like overall team depth firepower because like this was a really good team. However, there were certain areas that definitely had like room for how should I say? I guess room for more firepower. For example, like all season long, all of NBA media, all they could do was say, "Oh, Battle of LA. I just don't see why it's close. The Clippers are so much better on paper." That was so fucking annoying. Which is why it was like so much more satisfying at the end when the Clippers choked the 3-1 lead and the Lakers won the championship. Um But I think that yeah, this team was really damn good and they peaked at the right time. Chemistry was through the roof for this Lakers team. That's what made this team so fun to watch. Um, Ultimately speaking, I think that the reason why I put them at where they do is because some of these other teams that are higher probably just had like a little bit more balanced depth overall. This team like was definitely very fun to watch, and it brought back the joy in watching Lakers basketball, obviously because it was the first time we made the playoffs in a long time, 7 years to be exact. Um, it was definitely very exciting. And obviously, 2020 being a really tough year due to COVID, obviously losing Kobe, all those horrible stuff that happened. This was something that was able to cheer us up at least a little bit in the meantime. So this Lakers championship meant a lot for sure. But ultimately speaking, I put them where I did because some of these other teams I feel like just had a little bit more of balanced depth. Probably is the way I would say it.
Okay, that's for sure fair. But the way you were like talking about the Lakers makes me want to put them even higher, right? Because like they were a great team, and
Fair
even
enough.
before the lockdown, right? A lot of people forget they were the number one seed. They had the best defense in the league. It's not like they randomly won, or like the NBA, held their hand into a championship, right? Like they were the best team in the league before the lockdown. They were the best team in the league after the lockdown. That's just what happens when you're the best. They were able to adapt even within like tougher conditions. So yeah, you having the Lakers in this area is definitely fair. I have them right next actually. So um, I do agree with your opinion, even though like you kind of convinced me to put them even higher because that Lakers team was special. It was special. But yeah, I guess I'll talk about them more, a little bit more, in the next tier. But yeah, let me talk about the 2022 Warriors. As I mentioned earlier, a few of the reasons why you have them lower is the reason why I have them this high. The fact that like for like first time in a while they were the underdogs when you think about it. Like they didn't make the playoffs the year before. This iteration of the Warriors didn't have Kevin Durant. Uh, this was like the start of Klay Thompson starting to be like kind of cooked. It was basically Steph, Draymond, and peak Andrew Wiggins, the best Andrew Wiggins we've ever seen in our lives. He really came through with for the Warriors, being a steady hand offensively, but being a monster defensively. So the fact that they were able to take down, or the fact that they got to the finals, was impressive, and that's why like they ranked this high for me. But it is also impressive that they were able to take down the Celtics, even though they were a younger iteration, right? A younger iteration of the JT duo, right? But nevertheless, I still find this impressive, even though like at the time I hated I hated this finals. I thought this was the absolute worst like matchup that could have happened because I didn't want the Warriors to win another championship. I for sure did not want the Celtics to win another championship, even though they ended up winning another one anyways years later. So for me, like during this time back in 2022, I just absolutely hated this finals. But looking back at it, like it's cool that Steph was able to get his first Finals MVP through this championship, and it is impressive that they were able to win another chip without Durant, right? Because for sure having Durant with those two um, finals wins, right? Kind of like deflates the impressiveness status overall, at least for for me and other fans like me. So yeah, anything you want to say about this, or should we move on?
Honestly, not too much. I mean, going by your criteria, it all makes sense. Obviously, talking about the fact that this team was not really expected to win versus those other Warriors teams were pretty much expected to win because they were clear cut best team in the league, firepower wise. So honestly, even though I put them lower due to the team not necessarily being as flashy, I understand based on your criteria why you would put them higher. So honestly, I think fair points you mentioned.
All right, cool. So I believe that was our halfway point. We can now move on to the top five. So let's review that to each other. And I already spoiled mine. Mine is the 2020 Lakers, while yours is.
2018, 2019 Toronto Raptors.
Okay, I feel like I have them near this ranking as well. So I'm not too mad about that. Why do you have them in the fifth placement?
Yeah, so I will start by saying this Toronto Raptors team was really underrated, I think. And really damn good. I mean, I feel like the narrative all year long was, are the Warriors going to be the first team to three-peat since the Lakers from 2000 to 2002? And I think a lot of people believed yes. Thanks to the Raptors, that did not happen. And I am grateful. And sure, you can say KD injured, Clay injured, so forth. But let's not forget, the Warriors did play against a good amount of teams with injured stars as well. Like, for example, first year, Kyrie injured in the finals. And then later on, obviously, injured Chris Paul in the Western Conference Finals War when the Rockets were up 3-2, and then obviously came to Game 7 when the Rockets missed 27 threes in a row. Crucial there. I forgot to mention going back a year because I forgot to mention 2017 conference finals against the Spurs when Zaza dirtily stepped on Kawhi's foot and put him out in game one. That was another instance. So my point being is, yes, obviously the Warriors did have injuries that diminished their chances, but if anything, they got a taste of their own medicine. So um, can't really say that there's anything that, like, yeah, obviously it sucked they got hurt, but if anything, can't really sympathize them because they had a lot of breaks themselves. So that does not take away the fact that this Raptors team was really damn good, really impressive. Um, the team in the regular season went 58-24, pretty good. They were top five in both offensive and defensive rating, so that was also really good too. Um, Pascal Siakam that season, he ended up with the Most Improved Player award. That was also another key point to their run as well. And then on top of that, um, just a lot of key contributors: Serge Ibaka, Danny Green, Fred VanVleet, Marc Gasol. Kawhi was just remarkable that playoff run. Averaged over 30 points a game. And yeah, that team was just really damn good and really fun to watch. And it was even cooler that it was the Raptors' first championship in franchise history. Definitely like this team a lot. Um, at the end of the day, I wanted to put them higher. I just feel like there were some teams that probably had like more star power or overall stature, which is why I put the Raptors at number 5. And quite honestly, I think a pretty good ranking spot, to be honest.
Yeah, like I have them nearby, so the ranking is not too bad. But yeah, I love this Raptors team. Like as you mentioned, all those great players. We got Kawhi, Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, Pascal Siakam, Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, Norman Powell was on that team. Um, Jeremy Lin was on that team. Fucking Jody Meeks was on that team. Lakers legend. Uh,
Lakers legends.
like that, it
Um,
was a stacked, super deep team. And yeah, like there was injuries on the Warriors side. Maybe they would have won the NBA Finals if KD was there, if Clay was there. But who cares? Fuck the Warriors. Like they had injury luck for years. Let the Raptors get their first chip. Come on, and you know like
exactly.
they did it in impressive fashion. Like throughout the entire playoffs. Like Kawhi had one of the greatest game winners of all time in this playoff run. So yeah, I love this team. And you said something interesting that you know, something clicked in my head about how this is like a full circle moment about um, Zaza Pachulia injuring Kawhi Leonard when he was a Spur. So like a Warriors player injuring Kawhi, and then years later, the Kawhi got his revenge on the Warriors and ended up beating them in the finals. That's kind of a cool full circle moment there that I never really
Definitely.
realized. So
Same.
yeah,
I will say, it would have been even better if Zaza was still on that Warriors and got to go through the pain of defeat. But because he was already on the Pistons by then. But at the end of the day, yes, full circle moment. Kawhi got his revenge on the Warriors. You love to see it.
you love to see it. Okay, I have the Lakers at this spot. I want to put them higher as a Lakers fan. I can't. I can't. I don't know why I can't. Like this is a stacked team, right? We have like we had like the perfect lineup in order to defeat Nikola Jokic in the what was it, the Western Conference Finals. We had Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, JaVale McGee all chipping in, trying to slow down that guy. Um, we obviously had LeBron. We had like one of the greatest IQs in basketball history, Rondo on the team. Danny Green was on this team. Like this was stacked. They were like you know this team was on the older side, but still they were kind of stacked. Um, had a great run in the finals. Was able to win an NBA Finals the same year Kobe died. Rest in peace to Kobe. Happy birthday to him, by the way. We're recording on his birthday. Um,
Yes, sir. Happy birthday to the Go.
yeah, like this was very impressive. I guess I did knock it down because of like you know them being at Orlando. I guess like I'm not saying there should be an asterisk, but it was different. I guess so this was a different situation for the entire NBA. So because of it being very different, I didn't put it a lot higher, and also because they face the Jimmy Butler Heat, which like I never really took seriously. Like I've never really took playoff Jimmy seriously. I didn't really consider that like top tier competition for the Lakers. I think the Nuggets that year was much better than the Heat. So um, yeah. With that said, that's why they're at number 5 for me. But you make me want to put them higher because you made a great argument for them beforehand. So, anything you want to say here?
Um, Honestly, not too much. I feel like you make some fair points. Similar to me, would love to put the Lakers higher, but there's just other factors why these other teams would be higher. So I think this would be a good range for the Lakers, honestly.
All right, sounds good. We can now move on to what was it? Number 3? No, number 4.
Four.
Yeah, number 4. Let's do that. Oh my god, we finally have the same placement
Ooh,
for a
finally.
team. So for number four, we both have the Thunder, this year's 2024-2025 Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'll have you go first on why you believe they are number four.
Yeah. So I will start by saying, if we're talking about regular season accomplishment, this is probably one of the better teams from this list. 68 win regular season. Um, the youngest team in the league to make the playoffs and go on to win it all, also mighty impressive. And then second youngest in NBA history, only to the Thunder from the previous season, is also very good. And then on top of that, this team led the NBA in steals, forced turnovers, defensive rating, and they also had top three offensive rating as well. The NBA, like, okay, they were obviously there were some series that teams gave them a run for their money, but they clearly showed that they were like rightfully the champs this year. Round one, swept the Grizzlies. Um, Round two, had a tough 7 game battle with the Nuggets. Probably shouldn't have gone that far, but at the end, all that mattered was they won. Obviously, dominated game seven by like 40, showing why they belonged in the next round. Um, Conference finals was a little bit too easy, and I think should have been more competitive. Unfortunately, wasn't. 5 game win over the Timberwolves. Game seven. I mean, the NBA Finals though. 7 game series against the gritty Indiana Pacers team. That was very fun to watch. And it was also cool because we were able to have a guaranteed first time champion. And yes, I said that because I do not count the Supersonics championships for the Thunder because they were not even in the same city. Um, so yeah, that was definitely a nice fresh breath of air, a guaranteed first time champion for a franchise city that never won before. I think that's a good way to say it to distinguish Seattle and Oklahoma City, even though they're technically owning the same franchise history, but really not even the same city. So yeah, they shouldn't. Um, my point being is it was definitely nice to see two cities starving for a championship, guaranteed one gets one. And this OKC team just clearly was just very deserving. The only reason why I didn't put them higher is because I feel like some of these other teams remaining just were way more, I guess they were like more dominant and hard to take down around the league versus this Thunder team was taken to the max a few times, obviously against Denver and against Indiana. So really damn good team. I think that four is where they belongs.
Yeah, for me, they do belong in four. Um, I have mixed feelings about this Thunder team. I felt like it was like their chip, right? It was theirs for the taking. If they didn't win this NBA championship, they it would have been on them, and that was close. It was actually really close that they almost didn't win this championship. Uh, the fact that they, let the Indiana Pacers, a team that nobody expected to reach the NBA Finals at all, to take them to 7 games, um, I found that not being super impressive. It's impressive on the Pacers side, not so much on the Thunder side. They should have been a lot more dominant throughout the entire playoffs, in my opinion. The fact that the Nuggets were able to take them to 7 was kind of crazy, especially since like half of those games Russell Westbrook was the second best player on the team. It felt like, so the fact that they were able to take the Thunder to 7 was crazy. And again, like the fact that the Pacers not only took them to 7, but they had a good chance of winning it all if Tyrese didn't get injured. Like that part makes it hard for me to rank them higher because on the most important game of the year, the single game that matters the most out of every single game they played throughout the entire year, you are playing against a team without their best player, and them winning it in that fashion, obviously not being their fault, but them winning it like that makes it less impressive for me. Uh, like again, like I predicted they were gonna win before the season started, so I knew they were gonna win it all. But how they won it wasn't as impressive as I thought it would be. So that's why I have them at what is this, 4? We're talking about 4 right now.
4.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
have them at 4. Um, Talent wise, they could be higher, right? And if they had like a more dominant run, they could have been higher. But for me, it wasn't super duper impressive. So that's why I have them at this range.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. Then let's move on to number 3. So this is gonna be interesting. I hope we have the same number 1, but I feel like the next 2 placements is gonna be interesting. Okay, yeah, it's interesting for sure. So, what's your answer for number 3?
Yeah, so my answer for number 3 is 2017-2018 Golden State Warriors.
And then for me, it's the 2018-2019 Raptors. So it's funny how, you know, two of my, like, the bottom 2 answers for me are top 3 for you. So again, we have different criteria. We had a different philosophy going into this. But would you like to explain why you have the 2017-18 Warriors this high?
Yeah. So the reason why I have them this high is not because of the entertainment value, clearly. It's because this team was just too damn fucking good, and it was just so hard to beat this team. It was frustrating. Um Now, obviously, super unfair team they had. Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, list goes on. And it's like you see this roster in itself, and it's just struck fear into other teams in the league. And this team actually did go through a fair share of injuries throughout the year. But when it mattered in the playoffs, they got through it, and they had their bumps in the road. Like, for example, conference finals against Houston, they were taken to the max. Probably should have lost, but they ended up winning because the Rockets choked game 7, missing 27 threes in a row. That was obviously frustrating because even though I don't like the Rockets either, I did not want to see this team win another championship. So that was frustrating. But at the end of the day, the reason why I put this team so high is clearly because their star power struck fear to the league. Even though I don't want to put them this high, I think that's a good reason why had to put them this high.
Okay. Again, like I was a fan of this era of the Warriors, so that's why I had them very low. But like obviously, when we're talking about talent wise, they are one of the greatest teams of all time. You put one of the greatest players of all time, Kevin Durant, on a 73 win team. Obviously, it's gonna be amazing. Obviously, they are gonna win a championship, but because of the how obvious everything was, that's why I didn't like it. And I just find things less impressive when like you build a super team instead of like a deep team like the Raptors. Like what the Raptors did, how they built their team. I find that a lot more impressive. I find that a lot more interesting than just building a super team. Which yeah, the Raptors is my answer for this part. Um, I already talked about it a good amount, so I don't know what else to say about the Raptors that I haven't said already. But yeah, they are a deep team. They are a crazy impressive team. Kawhi, the fact that he didn't want to be there, but was like, you know what, I'm gonna win us a chip, and then I'm a bounce, and did exactly that is very, very impressive on his end, and you know, had one of the greatest playoff runs of all time. Whether you talk about that game winner against the 76ers, whether you talk about like the points he averaged, the defense he played throughout the playoffs and the finals, all impressive stuff to bring Toronto their very first NBA championship. Um, yeah, I just find it very impressive, and of course the team they built, chef's kiss. Oh my god, that like although it it kind of bummed me out that DeMar DeRozan wasn't able to win a chip with the Raptors. This Raptors team is amazing. Like looking back at it, like this was an incredible team. So I'm happy that they ended up winning, even if there was some injuries. But yeah, I'm just happy they won it. So that is why they're at my number 3 placement. We talked about the Raptors a good amount, but is there anything you want to say, or should we move on to the next one?
Honestly, I think that a lot of the points you mentioned were pretty valid. Like this team was really fun to watch, very underrated, and quite honestly, if we're talking about like favorites wise, definitely up the top of this list for sure. But aside from that, I think we are good to move on to number 2.
All right, let's do that. Um, okay. I'm hoping we have the same number 1. I guess we'll find out right now. We do have the same number 1. Okay. So, what's your number 2?
Yeah. So number 2, I put the 2016-2017 Golden State Warriors.
And for me, I put the 2020-2021 Milwaukee Bucks. You go first. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if we're talking talent wise, this team will probably be number 1 on the list. Ultimately, I had to factor in some stuff on why I would put them number 2, but let me start with why they are so high on this list. So to start, I already mentioned the 2017-2018 team was the same core, but the 2016-2017 team, the first year they got together was just like practically seemingly impossible to beat. It was just annoying and crazy. Um, that team, 67-15 in the league. Um, they were so damn good. Defensive rating was through the roofs too. And their playoff run, man, round 1 against Portland, sweep. Round 2 against Utah, sweep. Round 3, conference finals against the Spurs, sweep as well, even though it shouldn't have been if Kawhi didn't get hurt due to Zaza's dirty ass play, but nonetheless, still a result in a sweep. And then NBA Finals, almost a sweep. Cavs were able to find a way to win game 4 to avoid it. But even then, only a 5-game series. Finishing the playoffs with a 16-1 record was just crazy domination. It was hard to watch because obviously did not like that team, did not want them to win again. But unfortunately, they did so and with ease. So that is why, even though I did not want them to put them this high, I had to because this team was a very tough out. And they were just clearly the best team in the league, even though it was expected, but still a reality.
Okay, based off of your criteria, it makes sense. Um, you could even argue for this to be number 1 based off of your criteria. But based off of mine, it's like the very bottom. Like I hate this area of the Warriors. I've already talked about it, so I won't beat a dead horse. I'll continue talking about the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Phoenix Suns. I thought this was one of the more impressive NBA Finals I've watched in my lifetime. The fact that, the Suns were up 0-2. Devin Booker was cocky as hell. CP zero rings thought he was gonna actually win one. Ha! In your face. Not gonna happen because Giannis Antetokounmpo teabags that man, dunks on his face, does everything he possibly can to carry this team to a chip. The fact that they were able to win 4 games in a row after being down 0-2 is impressive. The fact that Giannis had one of the greatest NBA Finals games, NBA Finals closeout games of all time, getting a 50 burger, having some of the coolest plays in NBA Finals history with the block, with that alley oop from that great pass from Drew Holiday after he stole the ball from, I believe, Devin Booker. It's all impressive stuff. Like, it was beautiful, beautiful basketball. And yeah, the way that the Bucks got to the situation was, not the most impressive. I'll admit that, right? There was a good possibility that the Nets were going to be in the NBA Finals and they could have won the whole thing. But again, as I mentioned earlier, when the Bucks did reach the finals, they proved that they deserved to win it all, and that, yeah, they just played great basketball. I love that team in general as well. Giannis, Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton. That core was solid, solid team, and yeah, they really impressed me. I thought that their playstyle was incredible, and that run in the finals was absolutely incredible. One of the best finals runs I've seen in a bit. So that is why I have them at number 2. You have them a bit lower, 3, 4, 5, 6, around the 7 range, but we have different criteria. Do you want to say anything here, or should we just reveal our number one placement?
I I would say that based on the what you said and based on your criteria, it's definitely very valid why you put them so high. If we're talking based on favorite teams from the last 10 years, I would definitely put them up here for sure because like obviously we all mentioned in past like how big of Giannis and Bucks fans we are. Um, and then not to mention, they beat some teams that like we're not necessarily fans of on the way. Like for example, beating that Brooklyn super team, injuries or not, was really fun. And then coming back from down 2-0 to humble CP zero rings and Devin Booker was also very great for sure as well. So that was all fun. And I think that even like you factor in like the COVID injury stuff, seeing two like relative underdogs in the conference finals being the Hawks and the Bucks was pretty fun, fresh breath of air for me, honestly. And so that was enjoyable. So honestly, based on your criteria, I think that the placement is logical.
All right, sounds good. And it's interesting. We had different criteria, but I believe we both have the very exact same answer for the number one. And I would have looked at you funny if you had a different number one, or
Mhm.
um. But yeah, let's reveal it. Let's finally admit what's the best NBA Finals from these last 10 years, and that is the 2015-2016 Cavs. You want to start glazing, or should I? What should we
Um,
do here?
I guess I'll kick it off and
Okay,
then I'll let you have at it.
go for
So,
it.
to start, I will say I was very close to putting the 2016-2017 Warriors number one simply due to star power, but then I had to consider some stuff. And without further ado, here it is. So, obviously, we all know that this was the same season. Golden State Warriors went 73-9. I remember the Spurs had a crazy good record too that year. I think they were like maybe they won like 69 games or something like that. They were like not that far off from the Warriors, crazy enough. And they were the second seed in the Western Conference. Like, how ridiculous is that? Um, that was just because of Golden State Warriors, 73-9. It looked like it was a clear cut NBA championship for that team. And then came the playoffs where they had some bumps in the road. Obviously, went down 3-1 against OKC in the conference finals. Probably should have lost that series. Somehow found a way to claw back and win that one. And then came the NBA finals. It was looking like it was going to be a easy series for the Warriors. Matter of fact, they were able to go up 3-1. And then, as we say, the rest is history. Obviously, there's that meme moment when LeBron was wearing his shades in a post-game interview. No team in NBA history has ever come back from down 3-1. And I forgot what the exact stat was. It was like 0 and 100 something like that. And like that meme was so fitting because it was him saying, "Hold my beer. I'm going to make history." And that he did. Warriors fans, go cry all you want about Draymond Green getting suspended. Um, now, was it kind of skeptic that they suspended him in the finals? Maybe a little bit. But at the end of the day, his behavior was just so bad and it shouldn't have been tolerated. He deserved to be suspended.
Yeah, that
So
was on
no
him.
sympathy. That was on him, indeed. No sympathy at all for him at all. That being said, very impressive comeback. Down 3-1. Starting with game 5, many thought that would be the closeout game for the Warriors back in Oakland at Oracle Arena, the best home court advantage in the league, and the Cavs showed up. He had a 41-point outing in game 5 and found a way to keep the Cavs alive, win that game handily, force a game 6 in Cleveland. In Cleveland game 6, he puts up a 27-point triple-double, and that was huge to help the Cavs tie the series and force game 7 back on the road. So then came the classic game 7. Going down to the wire, I believe both teams did not score for like over 2 or 3 minutes, something like that. It was crazy. And the score was like the same for a while. So then came the vintage signature. Andre Iguodala goes down court, thinks he has an easy layup, blocked by James. And then that was a turning point. Because then later on, I believe what happened at the end was Steph shoots a 3. You think he'd make it because he's Steph Curry. He could shoot it from anywhere. Did not go down. Following play, Kyrie Irving shoots a 3 of his own, drills it. And so then the Warriors try to counter, match it. They were not able to. At the end, Cleveland was able to win their first championship. LeBron did it. He left Cleveland, was looked at as being the villain. Then he came back, won it for them, and became the hero again. Cleveland, this is for you. And yeah, that was awesome to watch. Even you're not like a Cavs fan, you just love to see moments like that. LeBron making a promise, fulfilled it. And looking back at that time, I believe I was rooting for the Warriors because I really liked that team before they got KD. Looking back though, thank God they didn't win that year because they could have won 4 in a row. That would have been atrocious. Oh my gosh. So honestly, God bless that 2015-2016 Cavs team for preventing the Warriors from three-peating or winning 4 in a row. But without further ado, I will now hand over the reins to Memo and let him give his perspective on why he put the 2016 Cavs at number 1 on the list.
Yeah, like it had to be the 2016 Cavs. Like, we talked about this like at school when, like, the day after when it happened. I remember you talking about like how bummed you were that the Warriors lost, and how, like, I think I wanted the Warriors to win as well. But I was like, even as like a LeBron hater back then, I was like, that was pretty impressive what LeBron did right there. The fact that he was able to lead a team to their to like the NBA's first ever 3-1 comeback in finals history is so impressive. For sure, like, the best argument you can make for LeBron being the GOAT is him leading a team to a 3-1 or a 3-1 comeback, and that team being technically the greatest team of all time. You know, they had the best regular season record of all time. So, like, that is a great GOAT case for LeBron right there. And the fact that he did it for Cleveland, his hometown, the boy, the chosen one, was able to do it for Cleveland makes it even more special for sure. So clearly this had to be number one. And like, even you mentioned like the great moments throughout this finals and throughout Game 7 of the NBA Finals. The block by James, the Kyrie Irving three, the tough three. That was not an easy shot. That he was kind of fading away, going towards the like crowd, and he was able to make that. It's just extremely impressive. So yeah, it would have been very, very weird if you had like a different answer. If you had, the 2025 Thunder as your number one answer, because why would it be when 2016 happened? The 2016 NBA Finals is one of the greatest finals of all time, probably the greatest. Like, I don't know, like, we could look back on every finals if we could nitpick all we want, but like, from our lifetime, this is probably it. This is probably peak basketball at its finest. So yeah, it has to be 2016 for sure. um Anything else you want to mention, or are we done here?
Honestly, I feel like you did a pretty good carry on of what I mentioned on why the Cavs were number one on the list. So I feel like we pretty much fulfilled everything. Um, yeah, overall, I think this was a pretty fun episode. Obviously, our criteria was a little bit different, so that made our list like vary quite a bit as well. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that we were able to find some common ground. Obviously, we placed the Thunder at the same placement, and our number one also happened to be the same team as well. So I think that is what matters the most at the end of the day. And I'm glad we were able to get back together again because the break, obviously, with family and what's going on in life was needed for sure. But talking hoops with you, always a great time. So I'm glad we were able to get this done. And yeah, definitely a lot more of good content to come as we approach closer to the NBA start of the season.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, starting next week, we've got some exciting stuff for you all. Some stuff that was very popular last year, so hopefully it'll be just as popular this year. Where we'll be ranking some stuff. We'll be doing some more rankings, and it's gonna be really fun. I hope you guys all enjoyed this episode, though. If you did, leave a like on YouTube if you're on YouTube. Comment as well. Subscribe if you really liked it. If you're on audio platforms, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. That would be great. Check out our socials, even though, I haven't really been posting there. But do that anyways, because why not? And yeah, I hope you guys like this new, like, recording setup. I've been playing producer back behind the scenes, you know, switching the camera angles, switching the mics, making sure some things are muted and all. So Although it's like a lot more work on my end, I think it looks cooler. I think it looks a lot more professional. So I hope you all enjoyed that. But yeah, anything you want to say before we head out?
Pretty much just mirroring Memo. Thank you guys like our content. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share, follow us on all platforms. We greatly appreciate it. We would not be where we are today without you guys. Um, as we approach close to the NBA start of the season, we got some cool content coming up, so you guys don't want to miss it. Um, Last year, we did pretty good in this series. We would like to, for sure, run it back, just update it to 2025, 2026. It's going to be fun for sure. So make sure you guys stay tuned because you do not want to miss it. Um, until then, thank you guys for watching, and we wish you guys a great day, great night, great week, and see you soon on the next one.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.